Hello. So we're going to do some stretching, so a little bit of yoga and some body weight stuff with some core strengthening. At any time in this video, try to use your focus and not force, especially with stretching movements. When you force, that's when you get injuries. And don't do any forced reps, meaning like if you're starting to deviate from form to get extra reps, do not do that. Just be done with that set. So we're going to start out with like a little bit of a yoga warm-up. So whenever you do a back bend in yoga, make sure you squeeze your glutes. So we're going to start by you squeezing your glutes, go into a back bend, your arms come out to the side, like a nice T, and then you're going to start coming forward. So you stick your bum out, you embrace your core, and come forward to a complete relaxed position forward. Now you're going to take your left leg and bring it back sideways, so you're stretching the inside of that leg. At the same time, you're on the ball of the right foot. Training that right foot to move correctly. Now you're going to bring your front leg back, your back leg forward. So if you were in a box, you'd be touching both sides of the box. You squeeze your back glute, you bring your arms up, and you try to stabilize around the scapula or the back bones. Now you're going to bring your hands into a plank position, fingers wide open. You land your knees, bring your bum towards your heels with your head up. So you first feel the stretch at your wrist, elbows underneath the armpits, and the back of the neck. And now you're going to bring your right leg back and your left leg forward, so you're standing on the ball of the left foot, stretching the inside of the back leg. You're going to switch legs, land the back knee. Once again, you're making it so you're nice and square. Ankle, knee, hip lined up, hip, knee, ankle. Squeeze your back glute. Bring your hands up into a fist. Trying to stabilize the muscles around the backbone, or you're just flexing the upper back. Now you're going to come into a high plank. Fingers wide open. You're going to squeeze your glutes and come into upward facing dog. Trying to stretch the front of your throat and the front of your shoulders. From here, land your knees. Bring your bum towards your heels. This time, your head goes down. So you feel the stretch at your wrist, elbows, upper back, and middle back. Come up on the balls of your feet and on your knees. Bring your arms up. Try to flex the muscles around the scapulas or the upper back. Now balance on the balls of your feet. Your chin is parallel, your shoulders are broad. Bring your hands into Namaste Mudra and stand a couple steps forward. Let the bones of your big toes touch. Squeeze your glutes, come into a back bend. Slowly come into a forward fold, engaging your core, sticking your bum out. Open up your hamstrings and your spine right here. Bring your right leg back into a lunge. Your left knee is right over your left ankle. Fingers in line with your toes. The work here is in that back leg and through your spine. Coming into a high plank. And you want to keep your elbows tight here, meaning you don't let them flail out. You keep them tight like this. Slowly bring your body down. If it's easy for you to be on your knees here, do that. And you're going to hold yourself for a couple seconds right at the top. And then relax. Let your forehead touch, your feet flap down. Squeezing your glutes, you're going to start bringing your head and your neck up. Go up as far as you can. And then turn with a little pressure on your hands. And come into Cobra Pose. Squeezing your glutes to protect your lower back. Just feel a stretch right around your belly button. Now, screwing your hands into the mat a little bit. You're going to go into downward facing dog. And then you make a little torque on your hands. Makes it easier on your shoulders. And down dog, you try to lift up on the tailbone and lengthen through the spine. Land your knees. Bring your right leg forward in a lunge position. Your left leg back. Knee over your ankle. Fingers in alignment with your toes. Come forward into a forward fold. Then go into a back bend, squeeze your glutes, protect your lower back. and then Namaste Mudra. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start out with a bracing technique, and try to learn this because you can apply it to anything in your life. It can make you a better athlete and save you from a gazillion injuries. So how you do the bracing technique is you put a little torsion on your feet, meaning you kind of screw your feet into the ground. As soon as you do that, you should feel it right there. Then you should feel that squeeze your glutes. Bring your shoulders directly over hips, and you tighten right here on purpose. And now that's the bracing sequence. One more time. I screw my feet into the ground, which makes me squeeze my glutes. My shoulders are directly over my hips, and I tighten right here. From there, we're going to go into squats. So from here, bring your hands to your shoulders, do the bracing sequence, and go down and then up. And notice I don't lean forward at all in my squats. I do the bracing sequence, I come down and up. That's 2, squeeze your butt at the top. 3, we're going to do 25. 4, 5, squeeze your glutes for everyone. Do the bracing sequence at the top. We're at 12. We're at 20, 5 left, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So this next exercise is going to give you healthy hip flexors, which is extremely important for skiing. So you're going to start out in like this split lunge type of posture, and this is a bone thing, so it's important to have your ankle, your knee, your hip lined up. It's a straight line. Hip, knee, ankle. So if I was in a box, I'd be able to touch both sides of the box here. Now I'm going to bring my knee over my ankle, my spine is straight. I squeeze my back glute and I stand for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Land your knee, go back to a relaxed position. That lets the brain reset, blood and oxygen flows in. Knee over the ankle, spine is straight, squeeze your back glute and stand. We're going to do 5 of these. This is number 2. Down and back, knee over the ankle, spine is straight, squeeze the back glute and stand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down and back, let it rest. Knee over the ankle, spine is straight, squeeze your back glute and stand. 1, 2, 3, 4, down and back. Don't let your knee go in and out. Try to keep it straight. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, squeeze your glutes. We're going to stretch the front of our shoulders and our neck by squeezing our glutes, reaching back to find those heels, looping my shoulders back, looping my neck back. I push through my belly button. My heels are straight towards the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze my glutes, come out of that posture. And now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So I believe this is the other side. So ankle, knee, hips lined up, hip, knee, ankle. I'm nice and square. I bring my knee over my ankle. My spine is straight. I squeeze my back glute and stand. 4, 3, 2, 1. Down and back. I bring my knee over the ankle, spine is straight. Squeeze my back glute and stand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down and back. I bring my knee over my ankle. My spine is straight, squeeze my back glute and I stand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down and back. Bring my knee over my ankle, my spine is straight. I squeeze my back glute and stand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down and back, last time. Knee over the ankle, the spine is straight. I squeeze my back glute and stand. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do that stretch one more time. Squeeze our glutes. Reach back, find those heels. Push through the belly button, looping the shoulders back, looping the neck back, squeezing the glutes the whole time for 10 seconds. Squeeze your back, your glutes, bring yourself out, and then relax in this position for 5 seconds. we're going to use that same bracing sequence, but we're going to add a push-up movement to that. So in the push-up part of that, so the same thing, squeeze your glutes, embrace your core, you can't turn your feet out, but instead you're going to turn your hands out in the push-up position. This takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders and makes it easier for you to do push-ups. So we're going to go into a high plank or push-up position, fingers wide open, and then we're just going to touch one shoulder and then the other shoulder. So without squeezing my glutes in my core, this is a lot harder. So you just touch one side and then the other. Just going to do 12 on each side. And that was to warm up the shoulders. And now we're going to go into bird dog position. So you have your hands wide open, right underneath your shoulders, your knees are right underneath your hips, and your toes are tucked under. Your neck is long, meaning it's straight. You don't have it bent forward or up. So from this position, this is training these four corners to communicate with each other. It also strengthens you right here and a little bit in your lower back also. So from this position, you extend opposite arm, opposite leg, squeeze the back glute, the thumb goes towards the ceiling. Hold it for 2 seconds, make sure your setup is nice and solid, and then go to the other side. You want your back to stay as stable as possible, like it's a table, and you don't want anything to fall off that table. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, then the other side. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. We'll do 6 on each side. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. This is the last one. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. Other side. 1 1,000, 2 1,000. We're going to add a little stretch to that by doing one more bird dog. We'll hold this for 10 seconds. Squeezing that back glute. Then you're going to reach back and grab that back foot. Gently try to lift that knee towards the ceiling. You're going to rotate and look over that shoulder that is holding that back foot. And at the same time, you're going to lift that back foot still towards the ceiling, the back knee. Now release. Make sure you get a perfect bird dog set up. Extend to the other side. Hold it out there for 10 seconds. You're going to reach back, grab those toes, and gently lift that knee. Now you're going to look back over that shoulder that's grabbing those toes and trying to lift that knee. And then release. And sit back on your feet. So now we're gonna open up part of the lower back and help strengthen the wrist and the elbow, and you should feel it getting this part of the lower back right on that last rib. So you want to be in perfect bird dog position if possible, those hands wide open. And then you're gonna reach under, putting the pressure on this wrist and elbow, almost like you're looking underneath the couch to grab something. Then you're gonna come on up, get in a great bird dog position, put the pressure on that wrist and elbow, reach underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, come on up. Gonna do it 2 more times. Once to this side. Once to this side. Last time. So now we're going to do a set of push-ups, but we're going to add in a little bit of a side balance pose. So remember, when you do the push-ups, you torque your hands a little bit, like you're doing with your feet. So you're in that bracing sequence, and we're going to do a couple push-ups. 1, 2, bring your hand right underneath your shoulder, stack your feet upon each other, and then look up at that top hand. 1, 2, come down, a bracing sequence. 1, 2, go to the other side, balancing up, whoa, 1, 2, bracing sequence. If you want to add a few more push-ups in, if these are too easy for you, then go ahead, but 2 is fine too. then reach up. 1, 2, back to this, bracing sequence. Hand right underneath the shoulder, stack those feet, look up at that top hand, 1, 2. We're gonna do one more set each side. Hand right underneath the shoulder, perfectly stacked. 1, 2, other side. 1, 2. From here we're going to go into what we call staff pose. So in staff pose, all your bones are lined up. Ankles, knees, hips. The only places that you tighten are right here and right here. So you're actually sitting up instead of sitting down. So now squeeze in here, here. You lift up your arms, feeling a stretch all the way from your tailbones up to your fingers. For 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to go into table. It stretches you here, here, and here. You bring your hands as close to your shoulders as you can. Fingers opposite of your eyes. You bring your feet exactly where your calves were. And come up into a table-like position with no force. For 4, 3, 2, 1. And then staff pose. Only places you tighten right here and right here, sitting up. Feeling a stretch from your tailbone up to the tips of your fingers. I should say your sit bones. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands as close to your shoulders as you comfortably can. Fingers opposite of your head or your eyes. Feet go where your calves were. And come on up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more times. Staff pose, squeezing here and here. Bringing your arms up. Feeling the stretch from your sit bones to your fingers. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands go back. Close to your shoulders, fingers opposite of your eyes. Bring your feet where your calves were. Lift your body up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Staff pose. Strengthen, tightening here and here. Feeling a stretch from your sit bones right to your hands. For 4, for 3, and 2, and 1. Bringing your hands as close to your shoulders as they can be. Feet where your calves were. And then come into the stretch with no force. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a lunge jump. Now you have to do, you want to make sure your setup's perfect. Make sure your legs aren't doing any of this. And you know, if this is hard for you, just do it like modified by going like this. But that's not the goal. The goal's for some explosive movements. So lined up, ankle, knee, hip, knee, ankle. Jump into one side and then the other. Squeezing right here for stability the whole time. We're going to do 10 on each side. No forced reps. There you go. So for a little cool down after our lunge jumps, we're doing the bracing sequence. So you gently torque your feet out, squeeze, squeeze. Interlace your fingers and push them through. So I'm squeezing my glutes. I'm doing the bracing sequence. I'm just going to go from one side to the other. Squeezing my glutes the whole time for support. Pushing through my hands. You should feel this opening up the bones of your upper back. And where the bones connect to the ribs. And now we're going to stretch a little bit right here by lifting up on the elbow. And you're also going to stretch your neck by looking up at that top arm. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. I squeeze my glutes. I lift my elbow. I look up at that arm. You should feel a stretch here and in the back of my neck. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go the other side. Lifting that elbow, squeezing those glutes. Looking up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other side. Squeezing my glutes, lifting up that elbow. Turning and rotating my head, looking up at that top forearm. For 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're going to interlace our hands behind our back, squeeze our glutes, and we're going to pull our hands away from our glutes as we loop our shoulders back, loop our neck back. And now you're going to come forward, so you stick your bum out, lift your arms. Squeeze the glutes, bring yourself up. Bring your right foot out at 45 degrees. You turn and rotate towards that foot. Squeeze your glute, bring your arms up and your head down towards your knee. Bring yourself up. Step the left foot out at 45 degrees. Turn and rotate towards that leg. You squeeze that back glute there for support. With your fingers interlaced, you bring your arms up towards the ceiling and your head down towards your knee. Squeeze your glute and come on up.